tool, which will move a form, I'm going to create a form. So I'm going to create two rectangular prisms by dragging over two rectangles, and then by using the push and pull tool, making those rectangular prisms and be three-dimensional. So now I'm ready to use the move tool. Now using the move tool, I can do several things. I can hover over the face of a shape, and I can shift over just the top. This is just holding the shape, so you can see how I could even kind of go left, right, over. So really changing the top. Notice that the bottom is kind of glued to the ground. In addition, I can hover over the line or the edge of a shape, and I can just change that edge. So I can go ahead and do that. Now, if I select an entire form, remember select tool, I can triple click a form and then use the move tool to move the location of my form. So again, I had to select it first by triple clicking, and then I'm able to move it. Now, if I want to make a copy of this form, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You first select your form, so I've triple selected. You then use the move tool, and to make a copy, all you have to do is hold down the Option key, the Alt or Option key, and then you click and drag over a copy. Notice that the red axis line is showing up. That means I am directly next to it. If I shift it over, then I'm no longer directly next to it. So again, those axis lines are really helpful for knowing when something's directly next to an item. So that's how to make one copy of an item. If I wanted to make another copy, again, I would have to press down the Alt Option key again, and then click and drag over a copy. Now there also is a way to make multiple copies. This is really helpful if you want to create 10 windows next to each other or 10 columns next to each other. What you do is you create your first form, and I'm going to zoom out even more because I'm going to make multiple copies. And what you'll do is, using the move tool, I'm going to copy to the end of my location. So I'm going to press down Alt Option. I'm going to click a copy all the way across here. And then I'm going to determine how many of these forms I want to fill in the center. So I'm going to select, I think 4 will fit in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down the number 4. And then I'm going to press the dash or the slash mark. It's the slash is with the question mark. So I'm going to press slash. And then I'm going to press return. And what happens is that the program auto-fills my extra forms, and they are all equally spaced apart. Designers use this to make, again, banisters on a staircase, the actual steps on a stair, if you're doing stepping stones and you want to fill them in. So this is a really quick way. All you have to do is create your first form. You copy again to the opposite side of where you want it, and then you press the number slash, and that's down here, the number slash, and then return, and it will auto-fill your items in. Now I have found that if you place the end item and then try to place it again or move it, sometimes this doesn't work. So when you are copying over that initial form, it has to be done in one step. So go ahead and try to do that on your program. And then the last thing we're going to look at is how to use the move tool to create a roof line on your form. So I'm going to go ahead and orbit around. So I'm looking at the other side. And what I'm going to do is create 2 more rectangular prisms so I can show you 2 different roof lines. So I'm going to make these 3-dimensional. And I'm going to show you 2 different roofs. So this is going to be in a combination between the line tool and the move tool. I'm going to go ahead and take the line tool, and on a form, this works really well if you don't have any extra lines on the sides of your building. So I usually make my roof first before adding any other details on my building. What you want to do is find the midpoint on the top of your building and click to place the pencil. And I'm going to find the other side of the midpoint, click to place my point. Now when I'm using my move tool, I'm going to hover over and try again to find the midpoint. Now when I do that, I'm going to click and hold and drag. Now what it does is it creates a roof, but what I want to find is the sticky note that says on blue axes. This means that my roof is straight up and down. So once I find that, then I've made a roof that is perfectly straight up and down. The other type of roof is more of a pyramid. So what you can do is take the pencil tool and you can go from endpoint to endpoint and then endpoint to endpoint to create an X on the top of your rectangular prism. You can then take the move tool and grab the center of the X, and again pulling up, but again you want to find that sticky note that says on blue axes to make sure that your roof line is straight up and down. Release once you have that blue axes sticky note that pops up, and then what I've created is a pyramid roof. And this works on top of polygons as well, which is really cool. So I can create a pentagon, make this three-dimensional, and then by combining, let's move this over so we can see, I can combine the pencil tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center and connect from the center all the way around. So endpoint to the center. And then by using the move tool, we should be able to grab that. Again, finding the blue axes. And now we've created a rooftop on a polygon or a pentagon. So those are some interesting things that you can do using the move tool. We've moved shapes around. We've copied with the move tool. We've made multiples over here. And then we've combined the pencil tool and the move tool to make interesting roofs for your forms.